this video, we're going to talk about how to edit a variable in our Rguroo. I have a data set called serial, and one of the variables, I'm going to scroll over so you can see it, is CFBAI compliant. You can see at the top right here. You'll notice that this data is given as ones and zeros. Now these ones and zeros don't represent the values of 1 and 0. They actually represent yeses and nos. Unfortunately, our Rguroo is reading this as numerical data, not as qualitative data. So that's going to affect what types of graphs and tables that you can create with it. So we want our Rguroo to read this data correctly. So we need to edit this variable. So to edit a variable, open the data set as I did here, and you are going to click on this little icon here that looks like 3 blocks stacked on top of one another, and then it has arrows coming out to the right. And if you hover over it, it says variable properties, add rows, variables. So click here, and a box will pop up that says variable and row management. You can also add rows and variables here if you would like, but we want to edit a variable, so you're going to click on variable properties on the left pane. In the right pane, you'll now see we have a list of all the variables. The one that I want to adjust is CFBAI comply. And you'll look over here on the right, and it tells you how it's reading the variable. So if you aren't sure, you can always check your variables and see how our Rguroo is reading them. So it is reading this as numerical. We want it to read as qualitative, in this case nominal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to nominal, and then we could save and be done. But I actually want to put some labels so we know what the ones and zeros are. So to put some labels on your ones and zeros, we're going to hit level editor, and you will see your ones and zeros pop up under name, and then there's a little column that says label. So if I double click on label next to 1, I'm going to type in yes, meaning that is CFBAI compliant, and I'm going to double click next to 0. I'm going to hit no next to CFBAI compliant. So yes is 1 and 0 is no. So I'm going to close these boxes out, and I'm going to save my data set as the same name. And so now I'm going to close it for a second. I'm going to reopen it and go to the variable editor. And now when I go to CFBAI compliant, you'll see that it is now nominal. And if I click on the level editor, you can see my labels are there. I also wanted to show you when you might have to do the reverse, change it from nominal to numerical. So I have this data set here. And this happens sometimes when we upload a data set where the first line is the header of the variable. So in this case, you can see calories is in cell number 1, and that technically is the title of the variable. And sometimes when we don't catch that when we're uploading a data set, then our Rguroo is going to read this calories as a data value or a piece of data, and it's going to read that as not numerical and make it nominal. So in this case, I want to edit this. So first, I'm going to go to my variable editor and just see what's going on there. So I clicked on the variable editor icon, click on variable properties, and variable 1, you'll see it is nominal. If I try to change it to numerical, it's going to say this column contains non-numerical values. I'm going to hit OK and close that out. And so what I want to do is I want to delete a row. So what I did is I went over to the edge of the row at the far left, and I right click, or you can click with 2 fingers if you have a Chromebook, and we're going to hit delete that row. And now I'm going to go over to the variable properties icon again and click on the variable, and now I'm going to change it to numerical. It is now letting me, and then I'm going to hit save as. Let me close it out and show you this again. So now if I go to the variable properties I can see that variable 1 is now numerical, and I can change the name right here to calories, and I can save that. You can see calories is now here. You could also click on the 3 lines here and do a rename that way. Okay, so that is how we edit variables.